Eunice.
Hi, I'm Chelsea.
I'm Jess.
Hi, I'm Leah, and this is ZULA ChickChats. So this is a new segment of ZULA ChickChats where we will be having adulting with ZULA. So adulting with ZULA is actually where we get down an expert in a certain field to kind of teach us how to adult, basically.
So for today's episode, we are going to talk about how much it costs to get married in Singapore. And for this week, we have Chelsea, and she's a wedding planner.
Yay, welcome Chelsea.
Thank you.
We have so many questions to ask. So the first question we have for Chelsea is, what should be the first thing a couple should do on their to-do list the moment they get engaged?
Definitely the budget. The budget helps you set like the whole flow of your wedding, what's your priority. Most of the time, budget goes to the venue. So you know how much you're going to spend on the venue. Weddings are not cheap in Singapore. That's a clear fact. So first you need to consider how many people are you inviting to the wedding. So if you're inviting say about 150, 200 people, you're going to spend about 40, 50,000. And of course the amount goes up the more things you include in the wedding.
I've seen some people say that they can keep their weddings below 10k. How is that even possible?
Of course, that's not a full-fledged wedding. It probably isn't a regular wedding venue. Something slightly more alternative. Of course, you need to set expectations that, you know, this is not a 3-4 course meal, or definitely not 8-course meal. This is like a more like say free flow buffet style.
Where do you think actually couples should spend more on? Let's say they have a limited budget, then you think which is the most value for money?
When you pick a venue that fits the aesthetic, where you don't need to do a complete overhaul or transform the whole look of the wedding, then it's good. You don't need to have like super good quality flowers, and also leaves are cheaper than flowers. So you can think about the proportion of leaves to the flowers. Anyway, the rustic will very in.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and of course, a good photographer can make something that is actually $100 look like $1,000.
Yeah, about that. So like for me, like I would spend like a lot on like my photographer or videographer. Maybe not a lot, but I would definitely do a lot of research on like who I want to hire, because like this is a thing that you remember for the rest of your life.
Having a good photographer helps capture all these precious moments that I mean you never know how crucial these photos are. Like for example, there were times where the wedding happened, and then after that 1 year on, the groom's father passed away, and the photos of the wedding was the last professional set of photos that they had, like, and all the memories that they had.
Any other wedding hacks that you can share with us?
The props rental. So you don't need to actually buy everything also. You can just pay a fraction of the actual cost of the product, and then you can get your bridal party to help you style the place.
Should the venue be the first thing you decide, or the date, or something else?
Okay, the venue and the date goes hand in hand. Some of the traditional weddings, you know, you have auspicious dates. So you gotta ask your parents and the geomancer for it, and they all refer to some book. If the venue is available, maybe you want to consider among 3 options. So once you book the venue, your date is set, and then it helps you get all your other vendors, you know, which photographer or videographer you're going to book for your wedding makeup artist, everything else flows from there.
How early do you need to book the venue? I need to know. Okay.
Well, it boils down to how kiasu Singaporeans are.
Oh my god, really?
I would say generally about a year or a year plus in advance, especially if, you know, it's an auspicious date. More chill, you know, if you don't need to have all these things in mind, then maybe about 9 months.
You know how like a lot of people are shifting away from say the banquet style weddings at hotels and doing it at cafes or restaurants? So the 1 year to 1.5 booking in advance, is it more for hotels because there's not a lot of them to choose from?
Okay, one thing is that definitely hotels, because if you want to book a venue that maybe wants to hold about say 400, 500 packs in Singapore, there are only that many. If it comes to the restaurants, of course there's more options.
Does the cost of wedding differ or vary when it's like a Chinese wedding, a Malay wedding, Indian wedding? For the sake of our other friends watching,
It's like your own family background. So every family has their own like expectation, how many parties you're gonna have. What's the whole purpose of the wedding? Is it meant for like say business setting? You're gonna invite all your suppliers in, your clients in. Like for example, Indian weddings are known for like having multiple parties. One is that party night, then a mehendi and everything. The night where you need to invite 1,000 over people, and the night that you invite 200 people, and
1,000 over people.
Wow. Other religions?
I've done Muslim weddings also.
Okay, so is it also a bit different like in terms of their tradition as well?
Actually, the flow is quite similar. So it's a solemnization. So for say Muslim weddings, there's the akad nikah. Then you think about the hantaran. So it's like, for example, similar to Chinese weddings, you talk about the kuotali. So for Muslim side, it would be like a hantaran. And of course, there's also a time where both families need to discuss what are the items that they're going to give one side to another side.
What are some of the services that couples usually forget about, like to hire or to engage?
invitation cards.
Oh.
You know, you remember at the very start, like, oh yeah, I need to send out invitation cards. Then after that, you realize that, oh shucks, like I haven't actually sent out my save the dates. Like you even told people that, you know, you need to remind them that, oh yeah, save that date for my wedding.
Oh, you know, in certain traditions, right, especially for Chinese people, there's usually the dowry thing.
Yeah.
When does that happen?
I would say that, okay, Guatali is usually that 1 month before. And all these traditions, usually there's an elder involved. So usually there's this elder in the family who has experience because other cousins, other kids in the family have gotten married. You know, what are things to do, you know, all these traditions for the wedding. For example, Cantonese, whether you need to get a suckling pig. The groom will deliver the entire suckling pig to the bride's side. So the bride's side is supposed to cut out a portion of it, fill it with oranges, wrap it back up. So how much you cut kind of represents how much you want, how generous.
How about the bridal party and the groomsmen, their outfits? When do you decide to start planning for that?
Once you have your theme in mind, you know, whether you want it to be a certain look, whether it's a blush pink wedding, or you want something a bit more edgy, you want them to be in sparkly dresses. Or maybe because of budget constraints, then you prefer not to spend on this aspect. So maybe you can find a common outfit that your bridal party already has. So at least they don't need to spend another like $100 over. Otherwise, Taobao.
If a wedding planner approves of Taobao.
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
But you see, that's the thing that you need time to do it.
My friend found her dream ring box from Taobao.
Oh my god, dream.
Like she's super pleased.
Do people actually buy their dresses from Taobao?
Yeah, some that do. But I would advise that when you're not sure of the quality, maybe for pre-wedding shoots. Because on the actual day, people really go up close to you. Like sometimes if it's very uncomfortable, so maybe like the material is very scratchy and all, then you feel uncomfortable throughout the day. Whereas like pre-wedding shoot, maybe it's like a bit more forgiving because it's like from far and all.
Okay, so how much do you tip or pay your bridal party or your groomsmen?
Well, maybe if they paid for their own dresses themselves, you know, so you just want to give back a little bit more plus the time. A wedding is a chance for you to appear generous. You don't want to appear like, you know, stingy on your wedding day. For closer ones, 68, 88, every number that ends with an 8.
Actually not as much as I thought it would be.
Yeah, I mean it can really go a lot.
Okay, so what are some of the hidden costs that we need to look up for, or like the red flags?
Bridal boutiques, like say those kind of bridal studios, it usually is packaged in a way where it's like you get photo, video, gown and makeup all for a very small sum of money. But I would advise, you know, through all the finer details, like do they charge per photo? In that sense, you're gonna charge $50 per photo. The cost is gonna add up a lot. You know, when you have a wedding that is one complete full day, starting like at 6 a.m. in the morning because of your auspicious timing, and then it's like gonna last all the way to the end. You're gonna exceed 10 hours. You need to discuss with the photographer how flexible is their timing, whether there are some areas that you think don't need coverage, and also another huge cost also, like for example, alcohol. If you have it in like a hotel or a restaurant that used to holding weddings, you know, sometimes in a package they'll put like, okay, 1 bottle of house wine on per table. If it's a dinner setting, you're looking at about 2.5 bottles at least for 10 people. So even if you get 1 free wine for 10 people, you need to get 1.5 more at least, or 2 more bottles. Charge for
Just like, oh god, I need to pay for alcohol too.
Sorry, I'm not gonna drink, guys.
or whether the venue charges for corkage.
Corkage.
Additional cost. Like, you know, some people view weddings as sort of like, how much can I earn back? Can I recoup my losses from the people that are coming to my wedding? What are your thoughts?
It's a very real concern because the outflow of money is a lot.
It's a lot.
Correct. And the number of people you invite to the wedding, and whether it's tier 1 family and friends, then you have tier 2 and tier 3 and tier 4. You do your guest list. Of course, you want to invite the top 2 tiers first. Then after that, you think about whether you invite the rest. Because usually the closer ones are able to fork out a little bit more because they want to give you a goodwill blessing.
So moving on from that, what is a couple's like survival guide or checklist that they will need for a wedding, for example, the things that they need to prepare in advance?
So imagine it at 9 months to 1 year. I like to split it across 4 phases. So 4 steps. First step is to book, you know, that venue, get your date done. The crucial core things like booking all your vendors, photographer and videographer, your makeup artist, the gowns, 1 gown, 2 gowns, 3 gowns.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
How many gowns do you want, Jen?
I just want one then.
Wait, don't hold me. like add on further. Suits, even smaller finer things like the shoes, accessories, person who's gonna solemnize your wedding. Of course, the venue first of all. Then your florist. Are you gonna have a wedding cake, a band, photo booth, table, bartender.
Oh gosh.
Wedding favors. Then after that, your quarterly staff. So it's a huge long list. So I'll say that give yourself about 2 months. Then after that, you go into like the finer details, like the fun part of it, getting inspiration. Like what kind of flowers do you like? What kind of decor do you like? And everything. So then you can conceptualize the wedding. So of course Pinterest is a very popular source, and it's very easy, I would say, to have a Pinterest-worthy wedding. And also Instagram. Instagram is a huge source for inspiration. Say for example, one vendor tags another like 10 vendors in a shoot, for example. You can see whether you like their style, you like what's happening there. In Singapore, there's also blogs and websites like Wedding Scoop, Singapore Brides. They're very, very useful. I would like to remind the brides that your wedding belongs to you and your fiancé. So it's very important to inject a little bit of personality. What's unique to both of you. So something that's more like personalized. Once people enter the wedding venue, they see the little finer details. They're like, oh yeah, this is very them.
So now phase 3, what are the things that we should look out for?
Phase 3 is more of like, say for example, all the logistics, all the scheduling, example, the schedule flow. What's the transportation that you need? How much time in between? Are you too rushed? Is that okay? Then of course the final phase is the enjoying part lah.
Final phase.
Yeah. It's the part where most couples are probably quite exhausted if they don't have extra help ready. Set aside time to still date. Find time to still have that spark. A wedding is that first day of your marriage, and you kind of want to let it still be very memorable and not feel exhausted in the whole process.
Last question would be like any advice you can give to young couples who are currently engaged and looking to get married.
Save money.
Very practical.
Very valid advice.
I mean, I would say that remember that it is a celebration of two of you and to enjoy that day.
So today we talked about how much it costs to get married in Singapore, and we learned that the golden rule is even though there's a lot of planning going on, you must always remember to rest before the big day, because after all, it's a celebration of your love for each other.
So if you guys have any other topics you want us to discuss, maybe something more serious that could fit into this adulting segment, feel free to leave it in the comments and also let us know what else to talk about next time.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.
Bye!